She tested me. I never thought something like this would happen to me. It all started on a normal Friday evening. My wife had gone out with her friends, and I was home alone, relaxing on the couch, watching some TV. Around 8 p.m., her younger sister, Lisa, showed up at the door. She said she was in the area and decided to stop by. I didn't think much of it. Lisa had always been around. She was like a little sister to me, or so I thought. We sat and talked for a while. Nothing strange at first. But then her tone changed. She started asking personal questions, like if I ever got bored in my marriage or if I ever noticed other women. I laughed it off, telling her that I loved her sister and that she meant the world to me. But Lisa didn't stop there. She moved closer, started complimenting me, how good I looked, how strong I was, how lucky her sister was to have me. I began to feel uncomfortable. My heart was beating faster, not because I liked it, but because I didn't understand what was going on. Then she looked me in the eye and said something I'll never forget. "What if I told you this is just a test?" I froze. A test? I asked her what she meant. She smiled, leaned back, and said that she just wanted to see if I was really loyal to her sister. I didn't know what to say. My stomach turned. I felt angry, confused, and hurt all at once. Why would she do something like this? Didn't she trust me? Was my wife behind this? Before I could say more, Lisa stood up and said, "Don't worry. I'll tell her you passed." But that didn't make me feel better. It made things worse. It made things worse because now I started wondering, was this just Lisa acting on her own, or did my wife know about it? Was this some kind of game they cooked up together? The more I thought about it, the more it hurt. After Lisa left, I sat in silence for a long time. The room felt colder. The trust one had in our family felt cracked, like glass under pressure. When my wife, Amara, came home later that night, she was smiling, laughing, holding a shopping bag. She gave me a kiss on the cheek like nothing had happened. I looked at her, and I didn't know whether to bring it up or not. Part of me wanted to stay quiet, let it pass. But another part of me, stronger, louder, knew I had to say something. "Hey," I said, my voice calm but heavy, "did you ask Lisa to come here tonight?" She looked surprised. "No." "Why?" I stared at her for a few seconds. Either she was telling the truth, or she was a really good actress. I told her everything, how Lisa showed up, how she acted, what she said. As I spoke, Amara's face changed. First confusion. Then shock. Then anger. She said, standing up. "She did what to you?" That's when I knew Amara didn't know anything about it. Her anger wasn't fake. She was truly upset. She grabbed her phone, ready to call her sister right then and there. "Wait," I said, reaching out. "Let's think about this first." I didn't want this to become a war between them, but the damage was already done. Lisa had crossed a line, a big one. Even if nothing physical happened, she had disrespected me, my marriage, and her own sister. I didn't sleep much that night. I kept turning in bed, thinking about why Lisa did it. Was it jealousy? Was she trying to prove something? Or was it something deeper? The next morning, Lisa sent a message. Just one line. "Please don't hate me. I had my reasons." That line stayed in my head like a splinter. What reasons could she possibly have? I turned to Amara and said, "I think I need to talk to her. Alone." Amara looked at me with worry in her eyes. "Are you sure? After what she did?" I nodded slowly. "Yeah. I need to hear it from her. I need to understand why." She didn't argue. She just said, "Be careful. Don't let her twist the story." Later that day, I sent Lisa a message asking to meet in a public place. I didn't want to be alone with her somewhere private, not after what happened. We agreed to meet at a quiet cafe just outside of town. When I got there, she was already sitting at a table by the window, looking down at her phone. She looked nervous. Not like the bold, teasing person she was the night before. Just small. I sat down. She looked up. "Thanks for coming," she said. "I didn't waste time." "Why'd you do it?" She looked down again, then took a deep breath. "Because I don't trust most men. I've seen too much. I've seen my friends get hurt, I've seen my cousins get cheated on, and I've seen how fake people can be when it comes to love. I wanted to be sure." "Sure of what?" I asked. "That you're really who you seem to be. That my sister didn't fall for someone who's pretending." I clenched my jaw. "So you decided to test me? Like I'm some school exam?" "I know it sounds bad," she said quickly. "It was bad. I admit it. But I swear I didn't mean for it to go that far. I just wanted to push a little. See what you'd do." I leaned back in my chair, shaking my head. "You crossed a line, Lisa. A big one. This wasn't your place. You don't get to play judge and test people's loyalty like that." "I know," she whispered. "And I'm sorry." We sat in silence for a while. I watched the people walking by outside the window, wondering how many of them were dealing with their own quiet chaos. Finally, I said, "You need to talk to Amara. Not just me." "I will," she nodded. I'm scared she'll never forgive me." I looked her in the eyes. "She might not. But you owe her the truth anyway." She nodded again, eyes glassy. I stood up and said, "Don't ever put me in that position again." As I walked away, I wasn't angry anymore. I was just tired. Tired of being caught in someone else's fear, someone else's test. But something still didn't sit right with me. Something about her explanation felt too smooth, too practiced. Almost like there was more she wasn't saying. And I couldn't shake the feeling that this wasn't really over. Later that evening, back at home, I told Amara everything Lisa had said. I didn't leave anything out. As I spoke, Amara sat on the edge of the bed, arms folded tightly, her face unreadable. When I finished, she didn't say anything right away. Just stared at the floor, blinking slowly, like she was trying to hold something in. "She really said that?" she asked quietly. "Yeah," I said. "Said she didn't trust men. Said she just wanted to make sure I was who I said I was." Amara let out a bitter laugh. "That's rich. Lisa, who can't hold a relationship longer than 6 weeks, thinks she gets to measure my husband?" I stayed silent. I knew she wasn't really asking for answers. Amara stood up, grabbed her phone, and said, "I'm calling her. Right now." "Wait," I said. "Maybe just talk in person. If you call her now, it's just going to be yelling." "I want to yell," she snapped. I nodded. "I know. But if you really want to know why she did this, and what else might be going on, give her a chance to say it to your face." She glared at me for a moment, then sighed. "Fine. Tomorrow. But you're coming with me." The next day, we met Lisa at a park near where she lived. It was quiet, just a few families nearby and some birds hopping between benches. Lisa saw us coming and stood up slowly. She looked nervous, maybe even scared. She opened her mouth to speak, but Amara raised a hand. "No," she said sharply. "You don't talk yet. You listen." Lisa's mouth closed. Amara walked closer, staring at her like she didn't recognize her. "You came into my home, sat with my husband, and tried to trap him in some twisted test. Do you have any idea how messed up that is?" "I know," Lisa said. "I do. I'm sorry, Amara. I didn't mean to." "You didn't mean to what, Lisa? Ruin our trust? Break something that was never yours to touch?" Lisa's eyes started to tear up. "I wasn't trying to hurt you. I thought if I could just be sure, if I could prove he was real, then maybe I could let myself trust someone again." Amara's voice softened just slightly. So this was about you. Not me. Not him. Just you. Lisa wiped her eyes. I don't know how to explain it. I'd been used, lied to, cheated on. I guess I thought I was protecting you. By becoming the thing you hate? Amara asked. That hit hard. Lisa looked down. Amara shook her head slowly. You betrayed me, Lisa. You don't get to claim it was love. Lisa nodded. I know. I'll do whatever it takes to fix this. Amara looked at her for a long moment. Then she said, You can start by telling me the whole truth. Not just the excuse. What else is going on? Lisa hesitated. Her lip trembled. Then she looked at me. Then back at Amara. And she said, There's something else I need to tell you. But, you're not going to like it. Amara's eyes narrowed. What do you mean, I'm not going to like it? Lisa looked at me again, then away, like she couldn't hold my gaze. Her voice was barely above a whisper. I didn't just test him because I didn't trust him, she said. I did it because I started having feelings I shouldn't have. The air around us went dead silent. Even the birds seemed to stop singing. Amara blinked. What are you talking about? Lisa took a shaky breath. I didn't plan for it to happen. But after spending time around him, seeing how he treats you, how patient and kind he is, I started comparing him to every guy I've ever been with. And suddenly I realized I was. No, Amara cut in, her voice shaking now. Don't say it. I was jealous, Lisa admitted, voice cracking. Not just of your marriage. Of you. Of the life you have. I didn't want to take him away from you, I swear I didn't, but I needed to know if it was just me being crazy, or if maybe he would notice me too. My stomach turned. Hearing it out loud felt like a punch to the chest. Amara just stared at her. Her face was pale, stunned, like her brain was struggling to process what her ears had just heard. You had feelings for my husband, she repeated, her voice flat now. So you decided to test him? To tempt him? You tried to trap him because you were jealous? I was confused, Lisa whispered. And stupid. I'm not proud of it. I hated myself for it. Amara didn't say anything. She just turned around and walked away. Not fast. Not dramatic. Just slow, like each step was heavier than the last. Lisa stood there frozen, crying silently. I didn't know what to do. Part of me wanted to run after Amara. Part of me wanted to say something to Lisa, anything, but nothing felt right. So I stood there too, caught between two people I cared about, and realizing that no matter what happened next, nothing would ever be the same again. I found Amara sitting alone in the car. She wasn't crying. She wasn't yelling. She was just staring through the windshield, hands in her lap, completely still. I got in quietly, not saying anything at first. After a minute, she spoke. She was my baby sister, she said softly. I used to hold her when she had nightmares. I protected her in school. I used to cook for her when Mom got sick. And now, she tries to take my husband. Her voice cracked on the last word. I didn't do anything, I said gently. You know that, right? She nodded slowly. I know. You didn't fail the test. But that's the thing, the test should have never existed. We sat there for a while, both trying to understand how something so twisted had found its way into our life. Eventually, Amara leaned her head back against the seat and closed her eyes. I feel like I've lost a piece of my family, she said. And I don't know if I'll ever get it back. You might, I said. But not now. Maybe not for a long time. She didn't respond, but I could see the pain in her eyes, the kind that doesn't fade quickly. Over the next few weeks, Lisa tried reaching out. She sent long messages, voicemails, even a handwritten letter. But Amara never responded. She wasn't ready. Maybe she never would be. Our marriage, though shaken, stayed intact. If anything, it grew stronger. We started going to counseling not because of infidelity, but because betrayal doesn't have to come from your partner to wound your relationship. Amara needed space to grieve the loss of trust in her sister. And I gave it to her. Some nights we talked about it. Some nights we didn't. But one thing became clear through it all: love, when tested unfairly, doesn't break, it bends. It bends under the weight of lies, jealousy, and pain. But if it's real, it straightens again, stronger at the points where it almost cracked. And that's where our story ends. Not in revenge. Not in hatred. But in quiet healing. Because even when the storm passes, the ground is still wet and you have to walk carefully until it's dry again.